Should we or shouldn't we? Once upon a time, a baby was born named Theresa. She was born in 1992, and she was born with anencephaly. Her parents knew that time was in an alley on their side, so they made a hard decision. A decision that could cause a major argument if this was morally just. And according to the CDC, they estimate that in each year, 1 in every 4,859 babies in the United States will be born with anencephaly. First, we need to understand what it is and what it means. The definition is a birth defect where the upper part of the neural tube does not close all the way. This often results in the baby being born without the front part of the brain and the cerebrum, which controls the thinking and coordinating part of the brain. Most likely than not, the remaining parts of the brain are often not covered by bone or skin. So what does it really mean? To simply put it, the infant will be born missing the front part of his or her brain, and the cerebrum, also the other part of the brain, may not be covered by the skin or bone. This brings us to our next topic. What are the causes and risks? Well, according to research, we have found that one reason may link it to low intake of folic acid before pregnancy and in early pregnancy. Another risk is quite odd. Babies born to Hispanic mothers are more likely to be affected, yet we don't really understand why. But due to the low intake of folic acid, the United States have been strengthening grains with folic acid, which has decreased the amount of pregnancies affected by 27%. Researchers still continue to study and try and better understand the birth defect. Is there a cure? Well, to be straightforward, no. There isn't a cure since it's linked to genes and genetics, but there are ways to detect if the infant may have the defect. There are a few times it may be diagnosed, which is during pregnancy, which has screening tests, blood or serum screening, and during ultrasounds. In some cases, it isn't caught during but only after birth. Anencephaly is immediately seen at birth. This brings us to our last question. How long do they live? Does anything good come out of this? When they're usually born, they're usually stillborn or resulting in a miscarriage. If it isn't one of those, then they usually survive for a day or few at the most. The parents have the option of donating the organs, but it's a bit tricky concerning the law surrounding it. Well, one of the problems brings us back to Theresa. Her parents requested that her organs be given for transplantation, while knowing that she was going to die. And even though her physicians agreed, Florida law prohibited infants' organs from being removed while she was still alive. By the time she died 9 days after her birth, her organs had already deteriorated past the point of being viable, yet some argue that anencephaly experience neurocortical death in which there is an irreversible loss of consciousness and self-awareness. But some argue that you are charged with homicide for doing that to the baby. For example, say V and D have a child who we will call B. Their child ends up having anencephaly, and B's legal guardians, which are V and D, choose to have the organs donated. The doctors agree and start removing the organs. Have V and D committed homicide? Have the doctors superseded the death of B? And is it wrong to use them for the organs?